Welcome to All the Bits, a fake radio show about board games, the community, and all the lovely, lovely bits. All the Bits is a proud member of the Dice Tower Network and is sponsored by Board Game Bliss, a store where you can find amazing selection of games from around the world, bringing joy to you and your loved ones. Without further ado, here are your hosts, Shaun and Michelle.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 44.
In this episode's bits, we'll talk about Villainous, Wicked to the Core, Hex Roller, Deep Space, D6, Museum, some D&D adventures, and Captains of the Gulf. We'll discuss the BGG Thread, The Apocalypse Happened, what will get looted, and what will not from a board game store. And we'll get up to all of our usual antics of asking pointless questions, guessing games, and drooling over bits. Or anti-drooling is what I think we're doing. So,
You too? Uh-oh.
Oh, no, not me too. No, just you. I was just calling you.
Yeah. I added a positive one in just right before we started recording.
I see that. I kind of want to add a negative one with you doing that, but I won't because I'm classy.
You're Canadian is why you won't.
Actually, I do kind of have a negative. Mine is a positive and negative.
Ooh, I'm so excited.
Are you really? I feel like you're being sarcastic right now.
I'm a little bit excited.
That's
maybe
really
just a
not
little
nice
bit.
of you and hurtful.
Is it though?
No, not really.
I didn't think so.
I don't really care that much.
No.
So
No.
yeah. So what's new and exciting since last we spoke, Michelle?
Well, I've turned into a tomato.
Oh, a tomato? Does that mean you have a sunburn, or
Yeah,
you're just
I'm
really
really
embarrassed about something right now?
No, I'm really sunburnt.
Oh, nice. Why were you sunburned?
Because I'm a fool and I sat in the sun without sunscreen. And I have
Right,
pale
well-
skin like you.
Like me, yeah. I get into an argument with my wife all the time. I'm always like, you can't get sunburnt after 3 o'clock. We don't get sunburn in Canada. There are too many trees, and they never put sunscreen.
That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
Well, I'm a pretty ridiculous individual.
That's true.
So,
That's true.
Yeah.
Speaking of ridiculous, Sean,
yeah. What
I have a question for you.
do you?
Ooh. That's like my extra curious sound effect.
Oh, this is going to be a good one.
No, it's really not. It's similar to last week. So we're going to do a board game pairing, or last episodes.
Oh, God. Are you going to embarrass me again like last week? Because that was horrible.
Well, that's what I aim to do anyway. So this one is your favorite movie, and then pair a board game with it.
So that's easy because there's a game coming out based on that right now. Is that cheating?
No. Which one?
All right. My favorite movie, obviously, is Die Hard. And there's a Die Hard game from the Op coming out very soon.
Okay.
About Nakatomi Tower and the heist there.
Oh, man. That tower, though. Hey?
That tower. So, do you even know what I'm talking about? No. So Nakatomi Tower, the kind of famous tower where Professor Snape, I forgot his name in real life, the actor who played Hans Gruber, that he tries to rob, but of course John McClane is there to save the day. It's located, the building they use for that is located in Los Angeles, and literally when I went to Los Angeles for the first time, the first thing I wanted to do was go to see that building.
And was it rewarding?
It was, yes. My heart was aghast with awesomeness.
Joy.
It was amazing.
Okay, now do one that's not super obvious. Or as literal.
No, for Die Hard?
Sure.
That's tricky, because... See, the problem is, so the game that's coming out is a one versus many game, and I really hate that genre anyway, which is a problem. That's my problem. A good Christmas game? What's a good Christmas game? Because Die Hard is the greatest Christmas movie of all time.
It's a Christmas movie?
FYI. It is most definitely a Christmas movie. This argument has been raging on the internet for years, Michelle. Are there any Christmas games?
There's a tile laying game, I think, called Christmas Tree.
All right, Christmas Tree. That's it. I wouldn't know this because I'm Jewish, so I have no idea.
Just gonna play the Jew
Spoiler
the
alert.
Jew card.
Play the Jew card early. Let's get it over with here.
Cool.
That's why I don't know. Yeah, that game got like a lot of buzz a couple of years ago, right? Or like a year ago. I remember hearing about it. Actually.
Yeah, I think it took people by surprise because nobody was expecting anything, and then it was like, oh, this isn't actually a terrible game. So like I think that was the buzz, not so much as in this is an amazing game, you should buy it. Maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
What do I do?
Well, I'm going to pair a Christmas tree with Die Hard.
Yeah, no, that sounds like a perfect fit.
Exactly what I'm doing. All right, you ready for your question?
No, I am.
All right. So.
Sean's thinking of one right now.
No, I have a question, but I want to change an audible based on your tomato comment. That's what I want to do, an audible based on your tomato comment before.
Okay.
So I'm trying to think of something funny to make it relevant to that. Ooh. Okay, Michelle.
Yeah.
What's your favorite farming game and why?
You're so proud of yourself right now. Oh, dear. The first one that comes to mind for me is Caverna. I really like that game.
Why do you like it, Michelle?
Well, I think it's a good design. And I like the sandboxy feel of it, where you can kind of just do different things every game and explore lots of things. And I really enjoy the end, where you look down at your board and you've built up this amazing cave and farm. It's all like 3D because there's different layers of tiles and there's bits everywhere. And it's very, very lovely.
But, Michelle, what about as a consumer of produce about the farming?
What are you talking about?
Really grabs you.
There are no tomatoes.
There aren't any tomatoes in it?
No, there's pumpkins and wheat. Sorry, wheat.
Wheat. There's only pumpkins. What do those poor dwarves... It's dwarves, right?
Yes.
What do those poor dwarf farmers do with no tomatoes?
Sorry, man.
I was so proud of myself for like 2 seconds there, and then you just ruined it all.
I know. It's what I do.
Horrible.
It's how I be.
Horrible. Okay, I'll save my question for next week, because it's actually a good one. Okay. I'm way off track here. Save me.
Do.
That was way off.
I'm still working on my bass voice. It's not going well.
Yeah, well, you have to get that bass. You have to turn up that bass.
It's all about the balls. About the balls.
All this boss talking is our lead into our guess the game bit, in which we give each other clues from BGG and try and get the other person to guess the game. And you lovely bitsers at home get to play along and do much better than us. And I won't screw over Michelle like I did last time.
Oh yeah, what did you give me? Too many bones or something?
Too many bones.
Oh my god.
Yeah. You had a lot of trouble with that boning, Michelle.
Oh, Sean. I'm
gonna insert crickets in there. Insert crickets.
You should just do that after like 70% of your jokes.
This is true. Hey, so 30% of them hit.
That's right.
I made this joke before. I would be a billionaire baseball player, because that's super successful in baseball.
And what does baseball have?
300.
Oh, I see.
Our
hit
show's all
percentage.
about baseball.
Yeah, no, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Took me a minute. Our show is about baseball.
Yeah. It is. It's a baseball show, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. So who's going first here? Shall I go first to try and redeem myself in your eyes? All right. You should get this before I even finish the first line,
don't
Michelle.
say stuff like that. You always jinx me before I even start.
And now that I'm thinking about it, I really need to keep track of these, because I feel like you might have given me this one. But hey, here we go. All right. This game came out in 2013.
Okay.
And currently has 8.1 thousand ratings on BGG.
Whoa.
And is rated a 7.6. It's got a weight of 3.74.
Okay.
You ready? Keep going.
Yeah, keep going.
Its type is strategy. And the mechanisms involved are dice rolling, set collection, and the worker placement.
Okay. What? Oh, you said dice. There's dice. Trois?
No.
Okay, keep talking. Bora Bora.
Yes.
Oh, that's such a good game.
I know you liked it. That's why I picked it to make up for last episode.
You're so nice. That's so nice.
I know.
Have you played Bora Bora?
I have. I think we've talked about this on the show. That's why I remember. That's why I'm trying to think. Did you give it to me or did I give it to you? But I've played, like, when I first started playing hobby board games, I think I got like a quarter or a half of the way through a game.
Okay.
But it was a horrible teach and it was a miserable experience.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate.
I haven't gone back to, but I would like to go back to it because I do enjoy Feld and it is very colorful and not beige.
Yeah, that's true. It's almost too colorful. It's very busy.
Right? Yeah, I'm sure you hate that.
A little bit.
Yeah.
It could use some cleaning up, but it also has all the information you could possibly ever ask for right on that player aid, so, or the player boards. So I guess that's a good thing once you understand what it means.
There you go.
All right, are you ready for
baseball?
First base?
For second base?
Home run. Ball. Okay, those are all the baseball terms I know.
Michelle. Okay, let's do this.
7.8 rating on BGG with 2.2 thousand ratings.
Okay.
Came out in 2018.
Dinosaur Island.
No.
Oh, darn it. I was looking right at the box. I was like, that would be cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was a good guess. Plays 2 to 4 in 60 to 90 minutes and has a weight of 2.39.
That's lightish. Okay.
The category is adventure and animals. And there's another one I'm just not going to tell you because it's too obvious.
Adventure and animals.
Yep.
Plays 2 to 4.
That is correct. But the community says 1 to 4.
Oh, so someone's it's either got a whatchamacallit. Is it Wingspan? No.
Nope. Do you want some mechanisms?
Give me them mechanisms.
We've got some cooperative play, some dice rolling, role playing, storytelling, and variable player powers.
Spear Island? No, that would be heavier. 2018 and cooperative.
The third category. Sorry, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, do those mechanisms again, please? Aside from co-op, because I'm stuck on co-op.
Okay, dice rolling, role playing, storytelling, and variable player powers. I'm going to give you the last category if you need a hint.
I feel like I like this game / should like it.
Yeah, I don't even know if you've played this.
What?
But you certainly know about it. The third category, so the other categories were adventure and animals, and this third category is book.
Like a reading book? Like just book?
I think there's some reading. Yeah.
It's not Ex Libris.
No.
No, because that wouldn't be like it wouldn't be one of those comic book things.
It has.
Oh, is it? Oh, wait. Is it above and below or near and far?
Nope. But you're kind of close, like in terms of the use of the word book.
Oh,
you're there. Keep.
Is it the Plaid Hat game? Damn it! I hate when I know it's not Fables.
Yay! You got it.
Yay! I'm so smart.
Have you played this one?
I just like a couple demos.
Okay. It's so cute.
No, I haven't. It's adorable. It's adorbs. Yeah, I just always feel like I have too many. I refuse to do anything with any games, any campaign or legacy games until I do something with Rise to Queensdale. Just sitting there looking in my cold dead eyes.
Waiting to be stickered with love.
It either has to be sold or played.
You should.
Nothing's happened. I'm not doing any of those types of games till I do something with that.
I don't know. I played Mice and Mystics, and I felt like it was a little bit too convoluted. Like, it was just so many finicky rules, and I worry that I'll feel the same way about this one. But I would like to try it.
I was curious about Comanauts, which was like the other one in that series, but it didn't have minis, so I was like, they didn't put all the bits in it, so I was like, I'm out, bro.
Yeah, totally. That's just unacceptable.
The one thing I always say, Michelle, do you even mini, bro?
Is that what you say?
All the time.
Oh.
And by all the time, I mean now's the first time in my life that I said it.
Yeah, I figured as much. Put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah, you're so smart.
I am.
All right.
All right, what we got going on now?
Pew! Pew!
Pew, 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 pew.
Are you singing a song? Because I'm not.
I was.
Oh, what were you singing?
I have no idea. I was making up the tune.
As-
I'm spontaneous
Oh, as-
like that, Sean.
And hey, speaking of spontaneous, Michelle.
Oh, dear. Okay.
This is our pew pew pew.
Okay, I don't know how that works, but sure.
No, not at all. We're going to talk about our recent plays and what we've been enjoying in the board game world. Although I'm cheating again because hey, it's what I do.
That's what you do.
Yeah. All right. Well, you can go first since this game is working. Your first one is working overtime. On today's episode.
How so?
Because it's in 2 bits.
Oh, yeah, it is. I was like, are you talking about it? Just, you know what? I have a sunburn, so you just have to just give me some time. Be patient with me.
I bet, Michelle, if I said it was going through extra innings, you would have understood.
Oh, totally. As soon as you talk baseball to me, everything just snaps into place.
I know. I got it.
All right, so my first pew pew is Hex Roller by who? I'm like, it says alternate names, Hex Roller. Okay. Designer Rustin Hawkinson, artist Christian Fiore, published by Renegade and Frosted Games. Has a current rating of 6.4 with 195 ratings. Oh, not many. Plays 1 to 8 in 10 to 15 minutes and has a weight of 1.14.
So heavy.
This is a very, very, very light dice game. So, as the name implies, it's a rollin, right? And your board is made up of a number of hexes. And on the kind of the perimeter of the board or your player sheet, there's like colored. They almost look like flowers because the way hexes work. Basically, what you're doing is you're rolling all the dice, and everybody plays every turn. It's one of those. And you group the dice in numbers, and the numbers go from 1 to 8. And then you choose 2 groupings of numbers. So like all the 8s or all the 4s or a single 7, for example. And then you have to write, like if you take 2 8s, then you have to write an 8 next to another 8 on the board. And then you write another 8 because there were 2 8s. And what you're ultimately, there's like a number of ways to score. If you fill in these little flowers completely with numbers, you look at the majority, and whatever number you've written the most of in that space, you get points. So if you had like 4 6s and 3 3s, you would get 6 points, for example. Okay. And if you don't complete one, you don't get anything. And then the middle portion is a little bit bigger, but it's worth 2. And then there's like special abilities you can use, and if you don't use those are worth points. And then if you connect, every number has 2 pre-printed numbers on the board, so if you connect them by a chain of that number, so like connect the 6s to the 6 to the 6 with 6s, you get 6 points. So that's another way to score points. And then there's like some weird convoluted pattern thing that I'm not going to get into based on the numbers that you choose.
Okay.
So like a super light game. The game plays in 6 rounds, and like honest to God, it's very, very, very fast. And each side of the sheet plays slightly different, where the numbers are a little bit different, and the scoring is just a very, very, there's a very slight difference. All right. But yeah, it's, I wasn't super impressed with it the first time I played. I was like, oh, this is just so, because it just feels so quick and light. But what I appreciate about it is that there's actually a decent amount of decision to make for the various scoring, because there's so much to score and you certainly can't score them all. It's kind of interesting to maximize in that space. So I think the decisions, for what it is, really, really super quick and light, I think it's actually quite nice, because there's quite a lot of ways of playing it, in my opinion. And because it's so quick, you just I already have a dozen plays of it. It just goes by super fast. So that's good. So yeah, if you like roll and writes, I would say it's pretty decent. It's nice for having all the decision spaces and the different ways of scoring. If you're kind of on the fence for roll and writes, I would say this might not be one that I think everybody would like,
So I probably shouldn't get it?
No.
Is what you're saying?
No, you should not. But I liked it. I thought it was okay. That's
cool.
Hex Roller.
Cool. Mm-hmm. Speaking of roll and writes, I don't have it on here, but I'm looking forward to talking about next time, is Lanterns, the dice game.
Yeah, I want to play that one.
I'll talk about next time. But, I may be coming around on this whole roll and write thing. We'll see.
What? You just have to find the right one.
Or I just really love Lanterns, yeah. But we'll see. Okay. So my first pew 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 is Villainous, Wicked to the Core, which is an expansion / standalone for Villainous, Disney's Villainous, designed by the design firm people Prospero Hall, and published now. I think the publisher of them it's saying Ravensburger. So I've talked about Villainous before, and Villainous is a game where you take on the role of a Disney villain, and in the original game, and all six, there's up to 6 different villains in there, and they all have they all require different win conditions, and they're all asymmetric in that they all have different individual things that you're playing as you're going on in the game. There are some mechanisms in the game that are the same. You're moving your dude from one location to another, and then you're getting a bunch of actions that happen. So it's kind of worker placement in that way, but you only have up to 4 different places to go. And then you're playing cards if you activate those locations, and paying power, which is equivalent to money or whatever, to do those things, blah, 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 blah. So recently an expansion came out to it, which is super exciting. And in this expansion, there is the Evil Queen from Snow White. There is Hades from Hercules. And there is, I can never pronounce his name, Dr. Facilier from Princess and the Frog. And they all introduce some new mechanisms. The Evil Queen, you have to obviously collect ingredients to make poison apples that you then try and poison the heroes with. Hades, you have to get all the titans out and move them to Mount Olympus. And Dr. Facilier has a something called a fortune deck, which is how he wins, but you can also really screw him over like that. It's almost got a little bit push your luck in it. And he's one of the cooler of the new ones. But yeah, this is more of the same for Villainous, which I love. Villainous, somehow this game, which was a mass market game that came up, has skyrocketed on my list of favorite games.
Oh.
And I think part of that, obviously, is I'm a huge Disney fan. But another part of it, it's so easy to get to. I played this the other night. We played it with 5 people, and 5 is pushing it for this game, to be honest. I think 4 is the optimal number. 5 is pushing it a little bit, but 3 of those people hadn't played many games, and it's so easy to kind of get. What's awesome about the game, too, is that each character comes with their own individual book that kind of tells you how to play it. It's a little fold-out book, which is really nice, and I think I've played this game now close to 15 times. And this just adds more of it, which is awesome. I have one problem with it, is that so they're marketing this and selling it as a expansion for the base game or a standalone. So it comes with 3 new characters, so you can play 2 to 3 people in it. But price-wise, it's a couple of dollars cheaper than the base game.
And how many characters are in? Oh, half.
So yeah, the base game you get 6 characters, and here you get 3. So, like, I kind of have some issues, like, just value issues around that.
Sure, yeah.
You know, and I understand they're kind of selling this to try and get people who might not have gone to base game, but here you can get this a little bit cheaper and then place 3 players, which is probably the optimal player count for this game anyway. But, yeah, so it's just, it feels a little expensive, but I was happy to do it because I know I've already played the expansion 3 times. I know I'm going to get a lot of play out of it, and it's just more of the same. And I'm super looking forward to seeing what they do down the line. I'm on, like, pins and needles, and I don't know if they have the rights to do, like, Marvel characters or Star Wars characters. You know, we were making the joke the other night, but hey, you could have Mr. Burns from The Simpsons here now because Disney awesome. Owns everything now. Right? So, like, really the sky's the limit. It seems like they're really focusing on core Disney characters, but I'm really hoping that you eventually will get, like, Thanos and Marvel characters and stuff like that, and it should be cool.
Yeah, that would be for you.
So, yeah, for me, yeah, it's definitely more on the layer. Although now, like, Dr. Facilier is really, it's a little bit more complicated. Like, some of them, the Evil Queen, it's like there's tons of deck manipulation. You have to get into your deck and do stuff with your deck to be able to get the ingredients. So they're definitely, like, you know, but then there's, like, one character, Prince John from the original, where you just need power. You just collect money throughout the game because he's Prince John. So there's definitely, you know, to the point now with 9 characters, you can kind of make the suggestion for more gamery gamers, you can have them play this character. For people who might be new, who might be into this more for the Disney, you'd be like, okay, well, maybe you should try this character.
Right.
Might be a little easier.
Which is nice. That's good to have for sure. Yeah.
Yep, that's Disney's Villainous, Wicked to the Core from Ravensburger.
Nice. My next one is, Pew Pew.
Pew Pew.
Pew is Museum. Oh, I have the expansion up here. Hang on. Museum.
And all the thousands of expansions?
Yes. There are many. All right, so this game was published in 2019 by Holy Grail Games and Luma Games. It currently has a rating of 7.4 on BGG with 652 ratings. It was designed by Eric Dubis and Olivier Mellison, art by Vincent Dutrait. And I just want to say I love Vincent Dutrait, and every single card in this game is unique art, which is amazing.
Nice.
Plays 2 to 4 in 30 to 60 minutes, age 12 plus, and a weight of 2.35. So this is very, very, very much a straight set collection game about museums. So what you're doing is you've got a player board with a bunch of different slots, and you're putting their objects into your museum, and you're trying to get different sets. There's colors and there's icons on each card. So obviously you can get colored sets and icon sets. A card can be part of multiple sets if applicable. And in order for it to be a set, it has to be orthogonally adjacent to a card that's part of the set, right? So there's a little bit of a puzzle, and like a spatial puzzle, in terms of how you lay everything out. And then there's also additional scoring on your board based on how you lay things out. Okay. On your turn, you're simply taking a card. Other people have an option to take a card. If they do, you get a point. Then you're paying for cards, and you pay for cards using other cards. Those cards go into your discard, and you can buy cards from your hand. You can actually buy cards from your discard, and you can buy cards from other people's discard. Of course, if you do that,
that's cool.
they get a point as well. And if you you can use a combination of cards and what they call prestige, which is tokens, but they're points, at like 1-to-1 points at the end of the game. So you can also use prestige to pay for cards, and if you pay for someone else's card using prestige, they get that sort of thing. There's events that happen every round. There's not game breaking cards, but there's cards that you can play one on your turn, and they give you like a special ability. What else? There's master cards, which for the most part give you like an extra card in your collection. There's objectives that you have, so and you draft them at the beginning of the game. So it'll be like, have a set of India cards. If you have like 8, you get 10 points, and if you have 14, you get whatever 20 points, that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. So there's those, and then one of the expansions also, and I haven't played all the expansions, but one of the expansions I did play was giving asymmetrical powers as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's pretty much the game. So really, it's just like rinse and repeat. Get as much as you can. The game ends when someone gets to 50 points. You get points while you're playing the game. Yes, in the form of prestige, but you only count those at the end of the game. But every time you lay a card, you get its value in points. So if I lay a 5, I get 5 points. And since you can lay as many cards as you want on your turn, that can actually happen quite quickly where you hit 50. So that's pretty much the game. I really don't like this game. I really wanted to, because I thought it just sounded really neat. It like clicked all the boxes. I'm like, asymmetrical powers, secret objectives, set collection. I love set collection. A simple card game. The cards are nice and big and beautiful art. A little bit of like intrigue in the sense of, if I do this, someone else is going to benefit, but it's good for me. All of these like check. All checks all the boxes, but I don't know. It for me, it felt really, really flat. It feels very repetitive and just not that interesting. Like, the decisions aren't that interesting. The whole thing of, you can take a card on someone else's turn, but you're going to give them a prestige. It's like, so what? Like, of course I'm going to take a card. So, it's like the ideas are there, but the execution is just poor to me. So too bad, because I had someone was selling it on the local market and they had the whole Kickstarter thing, everything. So all the expansions and stuff. And I was like, maybe if I add in a few more expansions, it might get more interesting. And I'm sure it will, but I already added in 2, and it just started to feel like a bit of a jumbled mess. So I don't know. So it's a bit of a disappointment for me. That's Museum.
I feel like I've heard the exact same thing that you're saying from a couple people that I know who have played it. I have one friend who's very, very much stuck on how an amazing or great game it is, and that's okay. Totally. But I have heard from a few people who have played it multiple times that they feel pretty much the exact same way that you just described.
And I kept playing it. I'm like, maybe I'm missing something here. Sometimes, And normally, I am someone who likes fairly simple card games as well. So, but this one, I was surprised when I brought it up to see 7.4 rating, but that's probably the Kickstarter.
I was just gonna say that's definitely
bump.
The Kickstarter effect.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah,
this was a popular one too on Kickstarter.
It was, yeah. Well, it's beautiful, right? And there's tons of art, and like I said, it sounds really good.
Yeah,
it really does. Like when you describe the game, it's like, but no, when you play it, it's just not that interesting. Yeah, that's Museum by Holy Grail Games / Luma Games.
All right. Well, my next pew 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 is a legit pew pew pew, legit, and the legit pew pew game that involves pew pew, kind of, sort of, is Deep Space D6 from Tau Leader Games, designed by Tony Go, art by Tony Go and Tim McBurney. And this, Michelle, is a solo game.
I know. What's going on?
I know. I'm just getting really weird now. Aren't I?
I don't think I know you anymore.
So. Just some background, I think, and I might be completely wrong. I feel like if I did research, but I'm not. I think I am right because I'm looking at it right here and it's saying it. I seem to recall this game getting all sorts of buzz as a print and play that someone uploaded to the Geek.
Yes,
4 years ago, and kind of never gave second thoughts about it because I usually don't do a ton of print and plays. But I remember getting tons of buzz and people talking about it. I saw a video about it a while back on the One Stop Co-op Shop, which is a great YouTube channel that I love listening to, and the podcast I listen to. And I was like, oh, this is interesting, and it popped up on Board Game Bliss, and I was like, okay, well, I think let's try it. And I have played this game. Let me look here. 18 times so far.
Oh, wow.
Since having it and not having it that long. So what this is a dice rolling worker placement game. Basically, your dice are worker placement. It comes with a number of custom dice that you're basically taking charge on a ship, and you are trying to beat down the bad guys who are trying to board you. Very much feels like kind of a tower defense wave game. They're just coming at you, and you have to whittle them down and get rid of the deck till you get to the boss and beat them. You have a number of different ships, and what I love about this is, so the dice are all the same. There are 6 dice. It's Yahtzee style, so you're rolling up to 3 times. Your dice can get locked. If you roll one symbol, they get locked, and you're kind of screwed. But what's nice is there are, in the base game, I'm looking here, 4 different ships. Or is it 8? No, 4 different ships. And they all kind of, for the most part, will change what the dice do from ship to ship. So you're using the same dice, but one will be, let's say you roll the fire one, and it's the laser one. It's fire lasers deal 1 damage, plus 2 additional ones. Looking at another one with the laser symbol, just to kind of see here, it just does X amount of damage. Another one lets you attack based on the different types of crew that you have. So they all kind of do different things depending what ship you do, and it kind of gives you what's nice about it too. On the back of each board, which is the ship, it tells you how you can play the ship to do it. So it's really nice. It's super fun. I've won twice out of that 18 times, Michelle, because I suck at rolling dice. But I was like, so I went through a period kind of when I was really hardcore at work, and I would go into the office and I'd bring this, and at lunch I would sit there like a hermit by myself, rolling the dice, playing it over and over. And it was great. It's a great stress relief / stress inducer.
Great.
But it does such cool things with 6 dice, which is really cool. 6 dice and a deck of cards. And I could see why it would have been such a popular print and play, because there's tons of variety here. Your deck of cards are cool too, because you have to roll different things to be able to kind of... Or the bad guys roll the dice at the end of each turn, and they roll different numbers to attack you in certain ways, which can really screw you over. But then there are some cards that'll help you as well. But it is really hard, especially if you roll as garbage as I do.
Is it pretty, how random is it?
So there is 1 dice in each one that lets you... So it is random because it's dice, but there is a dice... One of the dice, I don't know how to describe, it's kind of like a face-looking dice, a purple face, that depending what ship, on all the ships, it seems to do... it will change... It will let you mitigate that randomness. So one of the ships, the base ship, is like, it changes a crew, lets you change any of your other crew die to another one. There's one here that lets you override effects. There's one here that lets you copy the effect of any other die that you rolled. So that's kind of where there's one here that lets you reprogram stuff from one of the more advanced ones. So there's at least one face on the die that lets you mitigate some other dice. But other than that, yes, it is very much you're rolling dice. That's what you're doing. So that randomness is there. You can't get rid of that in something like this. But I think if you know what you're getting into, I think it's not terrible, because it's a Yahtzee style game, and you do have some options to do it. And I will shout out to the box, that I love the box. It looks like a old school science fiction novel, or very old science fiction. I guess novel. I would say VHS tape, but novel. And it's got that, like, I love the metal flap for books. And it looks like a book, so I have a shelf for all my games that look like books, so this goes nicely there. I love it. So, and it says from the TLG, the Tau Leader Games book series, so I don't know if they're going to be releasing other ones like this, but I hope so, because I love it. I just love the aesthetic of it. So we'll see. I know there's an expansion out there as well, so we'll see how much replayability it has. I don't have any other games like this, and like I said, I was able to, because I roll so crappy, able to bust out like 2-3 games over a lunch hour with no problem. So
very cool.
That's Deep Space D6 from Tau Leader Games.
Nice. Yeah, I've always been interested in that one, but I was never sure how random it was, Like, it was just like, hope for the best, but...
it's it's definitely random. It's definitely random, but there's a little bit of dice mitigation in there.
And I do actually like Yahtzee, so.
Well, there you go. I played Yahtzee last night.
You did?
I did.
I should bust out some Yahtzee with my mom. We played a lot of Yahtzee growing up.
That sounds like a horrible joke that someone would
I know.
say. But I'm just
I know.
saying,
I'm like waiting for Shaun to like come in and say something.
No, we are a Dice Tower Network. We're still a Dice Tower Network podcast, right?
I think so.
I can't say anything like that. Yeah.
All right. Well.
All right. What's
yeah? My next pew 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 is Captains of the Gulf.
Oh, I'm so excited to hear about this.
All right. Well, it was designed by Jason Dinger. Artist is Harold Leask, and the publisher is Spielworks. This was published in 2018, has a current rating of 7.1 on BGG with 313 ratings, plays in 75 to 120 minutes, and has a weight of 3.38. This is... Oh, what did they describe it as? La Granja meets... I can't remember.
La Granja no siesta. Or siesta.
No. I can't remember. Anyway, so this game has cards like La Granja, which is that they're multi-use cards. There's 4 different ways you can use them depending on where you put them on your player board or if you discard them to fish. It's mostly a pick up and deliver game, so you have a boat. The board is a number of hexes on the ocean, and you're moving around, going fishing for tokens. You need to have licenses in order to fish for them, and you need to have matching cards in order to fish for them. And then you're bringing them back to the market, and you're receiving money for them, which allows you to, upgrade your boat and play more cards and that sort of thing. And there's also 3 tracks, one for each port where you can sell fish to, and you're moving up the track depending on how many fish you sell there, and of course the track is points. And the way you select your actions is actually an action rondelle. So there's 6 actions you can do. Half of them you can do at sea, and half of them you can do at the port, and I think at sea as well, but you have half of them you have to be at port for. And then there's also a few actions you can do anytime that are on your player board. And a few, there's these kind of cool, you get these like bonus markers, and there's bonus actions you can do at port, and you just choose them, like get $2 or whatever, that sort of thing. So yeah, mostly pick up and deliver with multi-use cards and a action rondelle, which again, tick, tick, tick. Am I right? Mm-hmm. And the art is super cute. I really love it. It's like, I don't even know. It's like almost like pencil crayon drawings. And the player boards are boats, and they're just, I don't know, they're really, really quite nice. I quite enjoyed the look of the game. The board is huge. And, yeah, and then you play a number of rounds every time someone passes what are those, like, life rings called?
Life rings?
I know there's a name for them.
Sorry, life rings.
Okay, rings that are red and white, and you throw them on the...
Oh, I know what you mean. I don't actually know what they're called.
Well, they're life rings now. There's one of the lines between 2 spaces. So every time you go past that, basically you're moving the game further along. So my first caveat is I only played this game once, 2-player. Okay. So take what I say basically with a grain of salt, right? Because who knows? For me, the game felt pretty repetitive. And I think maybe pick up and deliver games always do feel really repetitive. So that might just be the genre, or maybe I was just playing it poorly, which meant that I kind of kept doing the same thing over and over. Versus maybe doing the most optimal thing. I don't know, but that's how it felt. And I also felt that the rondelle, the way there weren't a ton of spaces, like only 6, right? So, I felt like the way the sequence of the rondelle was almost the sequence that you needed to do. So it kind of felt like every rotation of the rondelle, I was kind of doing the same thing. And you can pay more to go further along. Like, it's not like you have to go to every space, but just And again, I think this is just inexperience on my part, but it just kind of felt like, okay, like, because it's a pick up and deliver game, it's like, okay, well, I got to get some fish, and then I'm going to go to the port, and then I'm going to upgrade if I can, so it didn't feel like there was a lot of interesting decisions to make when it came to the actual rondel itself. And maybe it was because of this sequencing, or maybe it was because of there weren't just enough spaces. Or like I said, it could have just been me playing the game really poorly and doing what was super obvious and not necessarily what was optimal. So yeah, I'd like to try the game again because I really love the multi-use cards. Like I love La Granja, and it's very similar to that in that way. You can do crew, or you can upgrade your boat, which gives you like special powers. And then you can also, the top is fishing licenses, so that tells you what you can fish and how many you can fish for and that sort of thing. To move, you have like an oil track along the bottom, and so you can upgrade that. So I mean, there's a lot of cool things. I don't know, it just felt, like I said, repetitive, and then I just didn't find the rondel that interesting, but definitely worth trying again. And really, I like I said, I really enjoy the art. The little bit that's there on the player boards and the cards and stuff, it's just, I don't know how easy it is to find, but
I think it's really hard to find.
I think so. Yeah, this was a borrowed copy, so shout out and thanks to Darren Bazant.
Shocking.
I know. It's like half my games that I play are his, I swear.
Speaking of our bitzer Darren, who called me out last week because it took so long for me to pair upside down with coconuts.
Oh, I know, really. Like, come on.
Actually, he wasn't the only one. 3 people commented it on me, and I was like, oh.
And I think I was the one who eventually came up with coconuts. It wasn't even.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, no, because I'm an idiot.
Oh, Shaun. So. As my daughter would say, oh, Shaun.
Yeah. All right. My last pew pew here, Michelle, is I have recently, and it's not a board game, but whatever. Screw you.
Breaking the rules.
It's 50% my show. It's 50%
Play the Jew card. Play the Jew card.
I'm going to play the Jew card. So, Jews really like Dungeons and Dragons.
Therefore, you must talk about it on the podcast.
No, I'm going to mention that I started my very first... Actually, part of this is related to our last episode. My first legit D&D campaign.
Legit.
Or roleplay campaign. Legit. I played, like, D&D at work. I think I mentioned on the show, like, half-hour sessions, like, 4 or 5 times. But this is the first time I've ever played, like, a legit one. A few of my gamers really wanted to do that, and we found a sucker to be our dungeon master. And now we have a D&D campaign, which kind of like brought me back to last episode where I shipped out Tales of the Arabian Nights. It's like, if I'm gonna play a game like that, now that I'm actually playing D&D, I was like, I would much rather just play this, you know what I mean, than do that and have this character that grows over time. So I went ahead, Michelle, and I will let the world know I created a half-orc bard who, Michelle, really wants to be in a boy band. And he got kicked out of his village because he was trying to be too much like a human by his half-orcs. And the humans don't like him because they're scared of him. And he just really wants to meet some people to form a musical dynasty with.
Aww.
He walks around in dreadlocks and has a button-open shirt. And he just goes to music to the center of town and plays music, and the females and everyone, just males, females, everyone fawns all over him, and he just wants to enlighten and bring people together with his music.
That's just so beautiful.
Yeah.
I don't know that. So, I think for a boy band, his dreadlocks would probably need to go. He needs to get like.
See, there was a band I was thinking of, and I can't remember which one, and I mentioned it to my wife, and she was like, no, there's definitely a guy with dreadlocks there.
NSYNC.
Or some... What is that? Was it NSYNC?
Maybe. He had, like, super short dreadlocks or something?
Yeah, did JT have dreadlocks?
I don't know.
Or just cornrows? I feel like JT had, like, weird cornrows or something.
No, it wasn't JT. It was, like, one of the other guys.
One of the other guys, as they will forever be known.
Oh, yeah, he's, like... I don't know what they are. I think they're dreadlocks. Oh, boy.
So that's this guy's goal, is he wants to be JT and have a group and then split off with them, and all the other people are the other guys.
That's sweet.
His goal.
I wish him all the best.
So I will, we've had 2 campaigns now. I'm sure I will, or two sessions, and I'm sure I will let everyone know the adventures of Carr is his name. Carr the Lovely is his name. I'll let everyone know how it's going with Carr.
I am Googling right now.
Are you? Yeah, I figured.
It was Chris. Yeah, Chris Kirkpatrick. Apparently there's a Chris on Instinct.
Sounds like a hockey player.
And the best picture is, so he had like short dreadlocks, and he, not
now
always.
I'm going to Google, sorry.
But he would like put them on a pony, a tail at the top. And somebody compared it to a pineapple. Yes. And it's making me really happy right now.
Oh my goodness, that guy, yeah, totally. Oh yeah, he had like those ridiculous the pineapple hair, yes.
Pineapple hair.
They're like dyed and oh yes,
terrible,
this is what my guy has. Yeah, he's one of the other guys from NSYNC. That's who Carr the Lovely is.
Oy, totally. Now you have some more inspiration to draw from, you know?
I do. I'm going to have to follow his career.
Yeah, go down like a Google trail tonight. Learn all about Chris and his pineapple head.
You're joking, but I probably will.
I think it would make your D&D campaign that much better.
Probably.
If you want to take this seriously, which I think you should. Or maybe I'll Google for you, and I'll send you all the details.
You should, and then send me message. Yes, totally. And maybe during all that time, I'll really get a... Yeah,
that was pretty good.
Roll tonight.
Well,
what's that sound effect?
Quite that far. That's our BGG Spotlight bit sound, where we talk about a BGG thread that we either like or find funny, or both. And we highlight some comments and talk about them and our thoughts and whatnot.
Yep.
This might be one of my favorites we've ever done.
Oh, yeah.
I was so happy when I found it. It's like, yes, score. All right.
What is it, Michelle?
It's the apocalypse happened, what will get looted and what will not from a board game store. So Joel Coop said, the classic gambling-related games like poker will remain highly played. I feel like Monopoly will always be in a family's home, no matter how many BGGers hate it. It is popular enough to withstand an apocalyptic scenario, is all I'm saying. I bet money you'd see people still playing Cards Against Humanity for a good laugh while they drink their swords away.
You go, Joel. Joel was very pragmatic.
Yes, he was.
So was I, actually. All right. Or practical.
I definitely think Cards Against Humanity would go.
Yep. Ugh. All right. Jason Daly. Gloomhaven would probably provide enough fuel to get a family through the winter. So I imagine it would probably go very quickly.
Very, very, very well thought out, Jason.
Yeah. Yep.
Ludwig Stigson says, hordes of Magic players will fight each other over the final Magic the Gathering booster packs.
Yeah, that would be worth probably all the cans of beans.
Arms, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll start paying for things in body parts. Where? What? Why did I go there? I don't know.
All right. Casual said, I would take the FFG coffin boxes to build my house out of. I would then take all the minis and booby trap my doorway to protect myself from zombies a la Home Alone. Casual is a smart man.
That sounds fun.
Yep.
This Thomas M, I feel you. He says, Euros will go first. Meeples, resource tokens, and thick cardboard pieces are basically firewood. Plastic smells when it's burned on the cooking fire.
That is true. That's a good point, Thomas. Totally. James Clark says, I shan't be looting any board game shops. My underground nuclear shelter in the garden is already stocked with essential games. There's also a loaded revolver in case I need to turn folk away, since there's no way I'm playing some of these at a higher player count. He just rotates through bodies.
I think that's what I would like, is to make sure that I have a very good collection. Fambam says, people will want zombie games. They will consider them to be technical manuals on how to fight zombies.
Well, up until those weird zombie side rules for friendly fire. But let's get on to the next one here. James Wall Kickstarter games just released to retail would be taken within 5 minutes, and people will stand on soggy piles of last year's Kickstarters to reach them.
This is definitely my favorite response. It's so true.
Yeah.
And this next one is also very, very true. Angel Carrot says, I guarantee that you'd still find copies of First Martians and Seafall.
Oh, poor Seafall. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, what did you think?
Right. Well, first thing to go from board game, I'm totally looking at this from, hey, what's going to help us survive?
Okay.
And I'm not going to make jokes here, because the zombie apocalypse is not to be joked about.
Oh, okay.
So obviously board game stores that sell food and drink and beverages and stuff, those are going to be the things you take first.
That makes sense.
Come on. Obviously, yeah, a bunch of people mention it, but games that have all the bits will become synonymous with survival in our new world.
People did talk about
they did
dice with slingshots.
Oh, that's brilliant. Yes, totally. Get some elastic bands, get all the dice, get like games like I'm thinking of like Clans of Caledonia or Rising Sun that have all these bits. Things like Victorian Masterminds that you could maybe use those cogs as ninja stars or something. You gotta get all the stuff, man.
Good luck with that.
All the stuff. Yeah. The other thing that I was thinking about that will go really fast will be the Rise to Queensdale games, because everyone will want the Plungers, because they can be totally valuable for like pickpocketing people and like getting stuff out of small spaces or crevices, and really just like using, you drop something on the floor, but you don't want to touch the radioactive material on the ground, so you use the plunger to pick it up.
And definitely,
Boom.
Then you won't get affected by radioactivity at all, for sure. That plunger.
Not at all.
That plunger.
Not at all.
Saving lives.
I've seen Chernobyl. I know how it works.
Yeah, okay. All they needed was just a few plungers. I mean, seriously.
That's it. That's how everything would have been there. Mm-hmm. I'm going to save my last one until you do yours.
All right.
You had yours.
So I did mine a little bit differently. I actually thought about what games would go. So I'd like to say Munchkin would stay, but I don't think that would be the case. I think Munchkin would be pretty hot. I think board gamers, all the Cult of the New, and anything super expensive. Mm-hmm. So for sure, like James's comment about, Kickstarter games just released, and then we'd all be standing on the soggy last year's releases, definitely. Yeah. Anything left, I said, would be anything labeled vintage by Board Game Bliss. So for listeners who don't know, Board Game Bliss, every day they have a vintage collection, and every day they update it, and you get 25% off the price, and it's older games and games that don't sell. Yeah. So anything labeled vintage by Board Game Bliss would definitely still be around.
Yeah.
And then the two games I could think of that would like for sure be left behind is Hengist, which is that terrible Uwe game that flopped.
Yeah.
And Diplomacy.
Yeah, screw Diplomacy. Michelle's 100% right.
Burn them all.
I mean, people wouldn't even want to use them to burn, because seriously, why would you want to do that? Just leave them.
Leave them
Don't
all.
touch them.
Yeah.
Hate it all.
All right, well, now that we know how to survive the zombie apocalypse with dice and plungers and
oh, there we go. I'm going to make a note. That's our show title. Go ahead.
Bits. That. Oh yeah, right. Everybody bits now. I'm only supposed to sing that when I'm really feeling it, and you know what? I'm not feeling it.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
I'm not feeling it.
My apologies.
I actually put this in so I could sing all the bit song.
Did you? Because you were feeling like singing it?
Yeah. It's a good song.
I was thinking you were not feeling it because of the game you're going to talk about.
Yeah.
Because all I see is WTF here in this All the Bits segment, where we talk about bits from games and our thoughts on them.
Yeah, so my pick, what Sean's talking about, is the Hex Roller dice. So the strangest thing, they have, I don't know, like there's 8 or 10 dice, like quite a few. And they're all, like, not all different colors, but there's, like, a bunch of gray and then some blue and some yellow. And it's so random because the colors don't actually matter. So you're teaching the game and people are like, yeah, but what's with the dice colors? It's like, no, just ignore them. And it just feels somewhat counterintuitive because you're like, well, should the colors matter? So I don't know if this is me being an optimist. Maybe there's an expansion or, a variation on the gameplay that maybe the colors will matter. But I just think it's one of the weirdest decisions. That's my negative bits. And then I felt all poopy, so I decided, let's spice it up with a positive. And I was looking through...
I felt all poopy.
And I found the Tiny Epic Mechs game, which I've heard the gameplay isn't great, but oh my god, have you seen the little bits? So this Tiny Epic Mechs game, you take meeples and you put them in like mech costumes, toys basically. These are just adult toys.
They're toys. Yeah.
And there's like guns and swords and you can like, you give these mechs like a bunch of different weapons and I imagine you go around fighting. But it looks pretty good. I gotta say they did a good job of the components, the bits. Mm-hmm. I would play with that.
Do you have it?
No, I wouldn't buy this game.
You're just talking about it.
Yeah, I would play with it. If somebody brought it over, I'd be like, let's just play. Like, not the game.
Just play.
Just play with we dress them up.
That's awesome.
Anyway.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
All right, so my all the bit here is Clank Legacy Acquisitions Incorporated Upper Management.
Oh my god.
So we talked about this on our Origins preview, and this recently came out. And I want to talk about the bits in here for a minute, because there's really good things about it and really bad things. Basically, not really bad things, but kind of things. It's basically a mini pack. You're getting 4 individual minis that are from the Acquisitions Incorporated troop, whatever they are. I'm not familiar with them, but as a new D&D player, I feel like I probably will be eventually, because people talk really highly of it. But so it's 4 characters from there, and the minis are fantastic. They are really nice. I don't know what I was expecting, but I don't think I was expecting them to look this nice. They're super detailed. You can even make out the facial expressions of the characters on the minis, which actually match the really nice artwork on your individual player boards here, which again looks this is a Penny Arcade thing, so it looks very much like the stuff you would see on Penny Arcade. The art cards are the same thing as well. So that's really nice. I really like the minis. Again, if I actually painted or bothered to learn how to paint, I would definitely paint these guys. My one problem with it is, and actually looking online, it seems like people have that problem as well, is the bases are actually quite large. Comparatively speaking to what you use in Clank. And it can be hard to have like 2 in the similar area. They'll be touching and stuff like that. I haven't played it yet, but just looking at it right away, I opened up and I was like, oh, that looks considerably bigger than just the meeple, the dudes you play in there. And I put them on my board to see, and they do feel a little too big. So I guess that's, I don't think it's the end of the world, but I wish they were a little bit smaller to kind of go with the aesthetics of the game.
Yeah, I'm looking at pictures here, I see what you're saying. Definitely, they look a little oversized.
They're definitely oversized, and that could be. It's hard to tell, right? So this is it's for backwards compatible with regular Clank, but forwards compatible with Clank Legacy Acquisitions, which is coming out. So it could be that this is meant specifically for that, and that's how they kind of do it. But let's see. I'll see. Like once I played it more, actually played it, I'll see if it really hinders, makes things fiddly or whatever. I don't know. Some people are saying it does.
But board gamers like to complain.
They do.
Yeah.
They do. Yep.
All right, cool. That was our bits.
Oh, you're really going at the singing stuff.
And now we have a new tune.
Okay.
Because I didn't know what else to do.
Do we have a tune for it, or are we just...
I was just going to make it up, like, Kickin it with Kickstarter. Kind of like a morning show or something,
Oh, yeah, okay.
It's like,
okay, and can I obnoxiously say, kick?
You can. Of course.
Like a rapper R&B singer will go like, I'll just go, kick.
Yeah, sure. That's great.
Sweet. Okay, let's start from the beginning.
Okay. Kickin it with Kickstarter. I love it.
There we go. What's this bit, Michelle?
So this is a bit where we highlight a Kickstarter, be it one we were looking forward to, one we just backed, one we were interested in, or one we just received.
Okay, and Michelle stole mine, so whatever, you go ahead and talk first.
I know.
Whatever.
I kind of did, didn't I? This is totally a Shaun game.
Yeah.
So the first one I'm going to talk about, or the only one I'm going to talk about, is the Isle of Cats. So this is a 1 to 4 player game of card drafting and cat placement. There is a 5 to 6 player expansion as well. This is they're calling it like a heavier polyomino game. Like Tetris style game, which, that's very popular right now. And it kind of reminds me a little bit of Bunny Kingdom. Now I haven't watched any like long playthroughs or anything, but it looks like you're drafting cards and then placing these polyomino pieces on your board, and then the cards kind of dictate your scoring. Yeah, and I don't really know. There's cat meeples, which look really nice, and I'm not quite sure what they do. It looks like you put them out on the pieces for something.
It's an Isle of Cats, Michelle, so obviously cat meeples.
Well, but there's cats on the tiles, too, so...
There are, oh my gosh, and they're just, like, lounging and stuff.
But yeah, I've heard... I watched Rado's final thoughts on it, and he said it was pretty heavy, which is nice, because aside from Feast for Odin, there haven't really been that many heavier games for the polyominoes Tetris style, and I quite enjoy it. So, yeah, I think this one might be good. I haven't backed it yet. I haven't decided if I want to or not. I'm tempted, but it's pretty expensive. It's like $80 Canadian, I think, or maybe more, 100.
Oh no, it's more. Yeah. So the reason I haven't backed is I've been trying to ignore it as much as possible. Because I know I would want it just because of cats, but it also seems like a good game.
It does.
But yeah, it's like, if you want just the regular, with shipping, the regular game, just the game, is $92. And then if you want the 5 and 6 player expansion with it, as well as the Kickstarter pack, it is $125.
That seems to be pretty standard for a Kickstarter, but it's so hard to invest that much money on something you haven't played.
And I will say that because I don't know the company, but Frank West is the guy who designed City of Kings. I don't know if these games make it that much, if his games make it to
retail. Don't tell me that, Sean.
So Michelle, you need to back it and let me play with the cats.
Yeah, I might. As one of the guys in my game group, he is backing it. So I'm like, part of me is like, be a responsible gamer and just play his copy. And then the other part of me is like,
good to me. That does no good to me.
So I remember now, I'm just scrolling down the page and it has like a how to play. So the way it works is you gain 20 fish at the beginning of a round, and then you have to use those fish to pay for cards, but you also have to use those fish to pay for tiles. So it's like a balance of how you spend your money. I'm sure there's more to it than that, but that's the general gist I get. I could be wrong, but that's the gist I'm getting. But,
cool.
Yep, Isle of Cats.
Right. It's taking a lot to fight not backing that. Another one I'm really strongly considering backing is my choice, which is Role Player, Fiends and Familiars. Since I'm all about the D&D and this sort of thing now, Michelle. This is... Actually, no, Role Player, even before I was doing D&D, Role Player is a game that I absolutely adore and gets to the table a lot. It is as hard, it's an abstract game, really, but they've worked really hard to kind of make it more and more... the last expansion, Monsters and Minions, adds you not only you build your roleplay character, but you also get to fight monsters and minions as well. It's a different way to kind of earn victory points in it. This one adds Fiends and Familiars, and Fiends, I guess, are on the monster team, and they kind of hinder you building your character and doing stuff. And Familiars give you new options to add to roll dice for your characters. There are also new dice, which are interesting. They're split dice, so they're two colors. They can be two colors when you're building your character. But the thing that I really like about this, and I've never been a sucker for these, but I feel like this is one I will be a sucker for, is it comes with a big box the big box they're calling it for Roll Player, and it's absolutely gorgeous.
It is very nice. I'm looking at it right now.
It looks really nice. Right now, I have my expansion and everything packed in my OG box, which it fits. It's really heavy, but this expansion won't fit in there. So it would be nice. I don't know what they don't really talk about what the inside will look, and this is something you can only get. It won't be available at retail.
Okay.
It says it'll only be available through their web store or at conventions. So it's like, oh, this is really tempting me so much.
Do it.
And I mean, it's not terrible price wise, but you know,
it's Kickstarter. I mean, it's expensive no matter what.
Yes, and that's
Kicking it with Kickstarter.
Another 2 weeks.
Another what?
Kick. Another 2 weeks. It's on Kickstarter for.
Okay. I'm glad I'm like, when I saw this, I'm kind of relieved I sold my game, because I'm like, oh, one less thing I have to be tempted by. Yeah.
All right. Well,
that's that.
That was an interesting new bit that we brought in here, and that was a good episode, Michelle. You gave it 110%.
I did, and you gave it like about 20. So
yeah, which is, hey, for me that's like double what I usually do.
That's true. Your tomato joke was definitely hit it out of the park, so to speak.
So I appreciate it. I do appreciate that. Yeah.
All right. Well,
do you have anything to say before we...
I do, Shaun.
Oh, what could it be?
Before we close out the show, we just want to say thanks again to our lovely listeners and our show sponsor, Board Game Bliss, a store where you can find an amazing selection of games from around the world, bringing joy to you and your loved ones. The next time you are playing with someone who has AP, may we suggest you use that time to click the subscribe button and leave us a review on Apple Podcast. Thanks again. Bye.
Kick.
Kicking it with Kickstarter.
I didn't even do it.
We need to get like mugs that say "Kicking it with Kickstarter."
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Go all cheese.
We should do some video. If we did video content, that would be
a good segment to do.
Yeah.